All right, it says we are live, and we're only 6 minutes late tonight. Woohoo! It's a record. Anyway, welcome to another episode of This Week Unloaded. This is episode 114, and tonight so far we have with us Mr. Jason Stewart. How are you tonight?
All doing pretty good, Rich. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no problem. And then the next one in was the New York Outcast, but you also may know him as Rob D. How are you tonight?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yep, no problem. Now, I get some of you might be wondering about what the title is, but because I titled the episode "The Day Robotech Was Supposed to Die." When they originally signed the contracts way back in the 1980s, which got Harmony Gold the licensing rights to the Macross Saga, Armored Cavalry Southern Cross, and Genesis Climbermost Beta, which collectively would combine with under the leadership of Carl Masick to form the cartoon that we all know as Robotech. It was supposed to end today. The license agreement was supposed to end today, but in 2019 they got into heavy duty negotiating because at the time Sony Pictures was actually starting to work on a movie which they're still supposed to be working on. It was actually supposed to come out this year, but it's probably been pushed back because of COVID. And with Sony's help, they were able to iron out their differences between Harmony Gold and I can never remember the name of the studio over in Japan that owns those three shows. It begins with a T, but I always forget the name of it. But anyway, they got together, they hammered out a new agreement that gives Harmony Gold the licensing for an undisclosed number of years going forward. So that's the reason for the title as it is for anybody out there that was wondering about that. So I guess when we're on the subject, were either of you guys into Robotech when you were younger, when it was first airing, or any time after when it's been shown on TV?
I wasn't, and I'm still not exactly sure what it is.
Oh, you've never seen Robotech? Dude, Robotech is probably the one after-school cartoon that actually had people die in it. It was a big intergalactic war. Earth was being invaded by aliens and had transforming aircraft that mecha units and stuff. It was a really cool show.
Okay. And after school, I could have cared less. I was, playing or doing something. You know what I mean?
Some markets, it was after school. Growing up in Pittsburgh, it was on after school. It was on it was a replacement for the Transformers when I was a kid. The Transformers would be on at like 3:30, and then when season 1 of the Transformers was over, they showed Robotech as a replacement thing because it was only 85 episodes. So they put that in as a fill-in while Transformers was being made. The second season of Transformers was being made. It came on right after G.I. Joe. But some other markets, it was on as a Saturday morning cartoon. So for those kids, it was on for 85 weeks. They got one episode a week. What about you, Jason?
I'm sorry, buddy. You lost me like a foreign language. I don't think I've watched Robotech.
Now, Dead Horse asked, is Gundam based on Robotech? No. Those were all shows. The Japanese have always been big on like giant robots, people piloting them and stuff. Those shows were actually run concurrent in Japan. The original series that Robotech was based on, Gundam, Voltron, the show Voltron was based on, or shows Voltron was based on, because Voltron was actually based on three separate shows actually, but in the United States, the third one never got aired because the second one did so bad, they didn't air the third one. But yeah, those were all concurrent running shows. Robotech actually came after Gundam. The merging of the three other shows that formed Robotech. Robotech came after Gundam because Gundam was a competitor for the Macross, the Army of Southern Cross, and Genesis Climbermost Beta, which are the shows that would form the three periods in Robotech. So at least Dead Horse knows what I'm talking about anyway.
I googled Robotech and brought up the images, and
sitting out there, Sean.
I'm afraid it just doesn't look familiar to me.
Yeah, you should give it a try. It's on Funimation now, which is a channel that shows a bunch of the Japanese anime stuff, and it's actually a really good show. Like I said, it's probably the one after school or Saturday morning cartoon where people actually were dying in it. They did not hold back. They did not edit out any of that stuff from the Japanese show. So when somebody gets hurt, they're not just hurt and going to the hospital. The most famous person dying in the show is probably Roy Falker, who was one of the main characters, and he gets killed in the one by. So,
have you been locked in a house your whole life, Rich?
Oh no, Robotech was just that cool. I mean, everybody when I was in school, everybody was.
All right, well, you know an awful lot about this TV stuff, so I'm just asking. Jason didn't know either, so. I was just curious. Did you have a bicycle? Did you ride around?
I guarantee you, if Squib were here, man, I'm telling you, he would know it too. Squib and I have talked about it before. Squib knows Robotech too.
Squib's part cyborg, so I don't think he counts.
Yeah, I mean it was a good show. You wouldn't, if there were a live action show, I guarantee it would have been a big hit on TV as well. I mean, that's the thing with the Japanese cartoons, right? In Japan, they don't make cartoons just for kids. They make cartoons for adults and kids. And I'm not talking like comedies. I'm talking about serious, dramatic, and action-based movie-type cartoons.
When I was a kid, you wasn't allowed to touch the TV set till you were like up in the teenager years. You did not touch it. You didn't turn the channel. You turned the volume up and down if you were told to. But most of the times, like our house would be like certain days of the week would have a different channel. You know what I mean? Like Tuesday nights or Monday nights would be like ABC, you know, and then like Friday nights would be like CBS with the Dallas and Dukes of Hazzard. But family turned it on that channel. And it didn't change. You didn't go monkeying with the knobs and turning anything and adjusting nothing. They put it on that channel, and there it stayed.
Poor son of a gun. That sucks. Yeah, I know a lot of people that were like, it was like that in their house.
Yeah, that was prime time.
Blessed with my father being an electrician, so I had all the stuff. I had a TV in my room, a Pioneer stereo system, TIAC, equalizer, whatever, speakers, phone rigged up. Like, my room was the shit back when I was a kid. I was the only kid I knew like that. That wasn't like a rich kid or something. And if they were, I didn't know them. So, but still, I spent my time, you know, playing, doing stuff, chasing girls, riding bikes, blowing stuff, all the stuff you can't do nowadays as a kid.
Did you just say blowing stuff? Oh, come on, Rob. We're not taking it down that way.
Not blowing. I was gonna say blowing stuff up, like, you know, doing dumb shit kids do. You know what I mean? But you can't get into those stories, or you should probably.
Yeah, but in my house, prime time was like what Jason was talking about. Once it hit like 7 o'clock, 7:30, the kids weren't allowed to decide what was on the TV at that point. But from the time we got home from school until, you know, we were done eating dinner, we had the TV. The TV was ours. And then Saturday morning, the TV was ours. Once wrestling was over, anyway, because my stepfather that was like the one sports league my stepfather would watch was professional wrestling. Anything else didn't want any part of. But so we would watch Saturday morning wrestling, and then we had the TV for cartoons the rest of the morning.
Yeah, I would have needed to be sick or something and be sitting in the house on the weekend. All right. Anything like that. Those were the days, man.
Yeah, after Saturday morning cartoons, everybody outside to play. And when we got home from school, basically I would watch G.I. Joe and Transformers and then go do homework or, you know, Robotech when Transformers wasn't on because of the, after the first season. It was cool that Robotech came out just at that point in time where they could do that. A lot of markets, though, for some reason, would put it on as a Saturday morning cartoon. Sort of like, Pittsburgh, we had it, like I said, as the fill-in for Transformers when they were off season. Between the first and second season.
Did you take camping trips alone as a kid?
Did I go out in the woods in a tent by myself? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No, because I had friends. We would all go camping out in the woods.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Without parents or something, or just you and your friends.
Yeah, we did that. We built a grill. Well, my one friend, he lived at the bottom of what we called the woods, right, which was like this wooded hill, and right above his house, we actually built a grill out of bricks and cement in the middle of the woods, public property, and we built a nice wood or charcoal fired grill. We would go to one of our houses and swipe the hot dogs and be out there grilling hot dogs in the middle of the woods. Parents would call us for dinner and we were like, "No, I'm not hungry." It's like, "Why not? Are you sick or something?" "No, we just ate a pack of hot dogs." And then we'd all get in trouble for stealing somebody's hot dogs.
Yeah, we had all types of places in the woods we'd camp, and a couple of us were into rock climbing due to a one in the group getting into a youth program due to being in trouble and stuff, whatever. Basically taught the rest of us, which a lot of people would consider crazy, but nobody ever got hurt. He was pretty good at it, so we were all into rock climbing and crap, and we'd had places in the woods with cables ran through the trees where we'd like belay out of and stuff, big fire pits and all types of stuff. So have a good time when we were kids. Yeah. Nowadays, we'd all be in jail if we allowed that to go the same way. Mm-hmm. At least anywhere in urban areas, maybe out in the country, people still get away with that stuff.
Yeah, Dead Horse out there says he doesn't care what anybody says. The Full Metal Voltron 2-foot tall action figure was the best 80s toy from a cartoon. The G.I. Joe large jets will be number 2. I don't know, man. I don't even know if the jets from G.I. Joe are the coolest G.I. Joe toy, because you had the USS Flag. If you guys don't know remember what the USS Flag is, that was a 6-foot long aircraft carrier. That thing would hold the jets from G.I. Joe and would be a playset in and of itself. You could do a whole battle between G.I. Joe and Cobra on this aircraft carrier.
I think I remember that.
And then if you got real creative and you had Jetfire, because they couldn't make any Robotech toys that transformed. All the Robotech toys were static because of the licensing, because somehow before Robotech was a thing, the Marvel and Hasbro somehow got the rights to the Valkyrie which was the fighter that turned into a robot in the Macross saga. They got the rights to that, and that's where Jetfire came from. If you were creative and you had the means to do it, you could paint Jetfire to be a perfect representation of Skull One, which was the lead fighter from Robotech, and have where it would transform, because the original Jetfire was a Valkyrie from Macross. That's what he was. People think he was an F-14. He wasn't an F-14. The Valkyrie fighters were based on the F-14, but they didn't have the stabilizers in the back, like, the elevator, whatever it is, the little wings in the back on the fighter. The Valkyries didn't have those and whatnot, so it was like those were actually a thing, and there was actually one point where when Hasbro still had the rights to the Robotech toys, because they had all the rights to that kind of stuff. I shouldn't say Robotech because they didn't have the rights to the Robotech toys, but when they had the rights to the Macross toy, where they actually came out with G.I. Joe Sky Strikers, which were the G.I. Joe swing wing jets, in the Skull One paint scheme. They were a limited edition thing, I think in the 90s, early 2000s. And Harmony Gold tried suing Hasbro for releasing them, and the judge took a look at the licensing deals between both and was like, nope, and threw out that lawsuit. Yes, there's interesting things. The history of Robotech is full of lawsuits. It's insane how many times lawsuits were filed because of the way the licensing for the shows were split up. Like Harmony Gold somehow got the exclusive distribution outside of Japan. So for the longest time, you couldn't get the Japanese original cartoons outside of Japan. It was not possible. Oh, yeah, the 12-inch G.I. Joes. The original 12-inch G.I. Joe was actually made to compete with Barbie and actually have a doll that the boys could play with their sister while they were playing with Barbie, and get this, to be a competitor for Ken.
I used to have some of the G.I. Joe guys. I had like a Navy guy or something too, I think.
The little ones or the big ones?
the bigger than a Barbie, the big ones like he's talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that always cracked me up about that. They actually made the big G.I. Joes because of the popularity of Barbie and to be a competitor against Ken for Barbie's affections. Ken was all right until G.I. Joe came into town, And my mother would tell us the stories about the commercials, and that's exactly how they would portray them in the commercials. Some of the older guys out there might remember if that's the case or not, but my mother swore that was the case. And excuse me. A couple of the videos that I've watched on YouTube about the different toys and stuff, they said the same thing, that they were marketing these things as Barbie's boyfriend and stuff.
And I used to have like a Lone Ranger and Tonto. Both of them had a big plastic horse. Did you ever remember those? They're about the same size as like the G.I. Joe guys.
I had some of the $6 Million Man toys. Those were like the same size.
I remember him too.
You could look through the back of
his face would like pop off or something. Oh yeah, you could look through the back of his head through his eyeball.
Yeah, through his eyeball. Yeah, and the Sasquatch's chest plate would pop off, and you would see the robotics underneath.
Yeah, I remember those. I think I had an Evil Knievel guy that was like that too.
I had the Evil Knievel where it was the wind-up thing where he's on the motorcycle and you wind it up and push the button, he would take off.
Cycle?
Yeah.
I used to have that too.
And the Chips dolls. I had the Chips dolls and the helicopter.
Oh, I didn't have that one.
They can call them action figures all they want. These things were dolls. They had combable hair and stuff.
Yeah, action figures are little solid plastic things. These were big. These were like twice the size of Barbie.
Those.
Rob, you didn't have one? You didn't have like the Village People doll set or anything?
No. No. Matchbox cars, radio control cars, battery powered up to gas at one point. Bicycles, usually had a mountain bike and a BMX bike, rollerblades. I was probably, I don't know, playing with cars at a young age, I guess, and then, moved outside pretty much.
Yeah, we had all that stuff too, but come on, man. What are you going to do when you're snowed in and you can't get out anywhere, man? That's when you broke out the
We
G.I.
still
Joes and Transformers and stuff, and having a battle all over the place. You know, the bookshelf in the dining room became a mountain that they were trying to climb. Because, it's like, and your mother's like, "Would you get out of the way? I'm trying to clean up in here."
I had a lot of toy guns.
Yeah, we had them too.
I thought about one time maybe trying to have a couple real guns that I used to have as toy guns. But I used to have one toy gun. I'm not so sure it's possible. I remember I had a pretty nice cap gun revolver that was like a snub nose, like a Smith and Wesson revolver, but it had a silencer on it.
Yeah, I had one of something like that. The thing is, the revolvers really aren't able to be suppressed because of the way the damn cylinders are designed. The only revolver that's really suppressible, I mean, truly suppressible, is the Nagant revolver because of the way that thing seals up.
Yeah, I know, but I forget. There's a Smith and Wesson that reminds me a lot of it. It's like the L Comp or something like that. That's the closest real gun that I can remember what that toy gun looked like.
Back then, those were probably
yeah, it wasn't a modern. It's just because the way the sight sat back on the barrel a little bit, so that plastic suppressor could slide on the front. So without the suppressor on it, it didn't really look like a modern gun they were making, but it does look like the L Comp they make now.
Yeah, the one I had, the front sight was right where the front sight would be, because when you put the suppressor on, you would turn it, and the front sight would actually hold the suppressor in place. Yeah. That one would have been, I think mine was actually like a Colt Chief Special or something like that. It was a little revolver like that, like a little 38.
I had an M16, man. That was one of my favorite toy guns. Big, long, full size, like plastic rifle. The carry handle. Long. This was 20 years before they come out with the M4. You know what I mean? This was the rifle. That was one of my. Of course, you pulled the trigger and it spun a wheel with a spring on it. Went
yeah.
3-prong flash hider, everything on it, man. That was a hell of a replica. There's no way in hell they would let you make that toy today.
Oh no, man! They started not making them where you couldn't make those things in the late '80s. I had one of the last guns that looked like a real gun, toy gun rather, that looked like a real gun. That was I had the M16 Intertech squirt gun. Man, that thing not only made the noise like what you're talking about, it also shot water like 30 feet.
I remember that's the Intertech squirt gun.
Yeah. It was after the Intertech that people started freaking out. Oh no, we can't have guns looking like real toys, and they started making them all kinds of goofy colors and shit. Making them look like they were painting them to look like Def Leppard's tights that they wore on stage during a concert or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At least when I had my toys, you got them in regular. They were black, or cowboy gun was silver or something.
Yeah. I had a lever action. Wasn't like a Winchester or anything. It was just lever action, and because it didn't have a hammer or anything, and that thing was all stainless steel.
Yeah,
whack somebody in the head with it, they felt it.
I remember having a couple wooden toy guns. Well, had wood on them, like wood stocks. And I remember one, like, you worked the bolt action on it. It had like a golden wooden bullet up in there and everything. We're trying to make it realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, MKJO says about how at the end they made the noise electronically sounded pretty good. Yeah, and they had reciprocating slides on some of them. Like I remember the store had a M9 that it looked just like an M9, and you pulled the trigger and it would make the sound sound like a bullet going off, like an electronic recording of a bullet going off. But that's what it sounded. And the slide would reciprocate on it when you pulled the trigger, making it look like you had just fired a round out of it, which was pretty cool.
We were terrible kids ourselves. Like, we would point our toy guns at each other and other people.
Dude, we pointed pellet guns at each other and pulled the trigger.
It was a bunch of race. I used to be a racist, man. I used to play cowboys and Indians and shit.
Uh-huh.
Whatever was like on the afternoon movie. Like if you had your war movie, you was out in the bushes.
You went to
fence playing war. If it was
you want to talk
Western,
about,
you were playing cowboys.
Yeah, you want to talk about something that they would be calling racist all day long these days. My friends and I, most of my friends, I grew up in a black neighborhood, and most of my friends when I was a little kid were black. And one day we're all sitting around. We watched Zulu. Okay.
Like Shaka Zulu?
Yeah, something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we watched that, and we went and decided we were going to go outside and play. All the white kids were the British. We all got the guns. The black kids all went running around looking for sticks because they were the Zulu warriors. Tell me they wouldn't call us all racist today for that one.
Man, they would like shut your entire town. Canceled.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had a bunch of white kids running around with the toy guns being British soldiers, and the black kids with sticks being the Zulu warriors.
That is pretty bad right there, dude. Damn.
Yeah, we would have been canceled so fast back. But yeah, that happened. That was, and the best part is, it was one of the black kids' idea. We didn't think about that was anything bad back then.
Uh-huh.
We were just emulating what we saw in the movie, right?
So was slavery, dude.
We played Civil War, but the black kids were always on the north, and then the south was always the white kid. Was always just a bunch of white kids. The north would be white and black.
Don't laugh, man, because like you want to get mad about something. I'd rather have a sharp stick than a toy gun.
Yeah. The sharp stick is better than a toy gun in a fight.
Yeah.
Unless you got one of those stainless steel lever actions like I had and you cracked somebody with it. And I'm telling you, man, that thing would double as a club.
I used to have what would have been like a Winchester 72 or 1894, something like that. I had like a pretty nice little lever gun too.
Gun toting pass was after he said he had a lump in his back from a BB. No, see, now we weren't using BBs. When I was in high school, we would go out in the woods in our junior RTC BDUs, and we would play war with CO2 pellet guns because we were crazy. The only safety gear we had was eye protection. We were smart enough at least to do that. We did wear eye protection. Maybe a sweatshirt underneath our BDU tops to try and soften the blow somewhat. But you always knew when the other person got hit because you heard him yell, "Ow!"
Yeah, the old Power Master 760 was a pretty popular rifle amongst my crowd.
CO2s are only good for the first few shots, it seems.
That's why you carry reloads.
First magazine or something like that. After that, they die off pretty quick. So
Is it them old them Crossmans like that, man? You pump one of them up about 10 times, it goes through a truck fender, and I mean like a 70s truck fender,
always been stronger.
Not a modern day fender, but the old steel.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want no part of getting shot with one of them.
We had
squirrel killer for sure, man.
Yeah, we had one of those one time when we went camping. It was my cousins. We're out camping in the woods. My stepfather and my grandfather, and I mean we were out far from home. We weren't just like in the neighborhood woods camping out. We were on an actual camping trip, and my grandfather set up some empty beer cans for us to shoot at, and he's sitting there drinking a beer. I've told this story before, so you guys probably heard it before. But my grandfather's not feeling any pain, shall we say, at this point. My cousin and my brother, they start shooting his beer can, and he doesn't know it. So every time he hears ting, 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 because he thinks it's one of the cans downrange getting shot, he's like, "That's a hit! That's a hit! That's a hit!" And next thing he knows, he reaches down to get his beer can, and it's empty, and it's got all these little BB holes in it.
I remember mine. We used to hang a clothes hanger, like stretch it out like a straight rod. I used to hang it from an old swing set, and my BB gun, you could hit the clothesline with it, clothes rod. So that's about as skinny a target as you can get. Once you got on it, you could keep hitting it once you got your aim right with it.
Yeah, my son, he's got a Daisy Red Rider, but it doesn't have the thing in the stock that tells time or a compass. What? No love for a Christmas Story?
You can get one of those with a longer stock on it for an adult size.
Yeah, I saw that. They did at one point have the special edition that actually did have the compass thing that tells time and the compass in the stock.
Yeah.
I wanted one of those, but they never got them in around here. And every time I would look for one online, it was already sold out. I mean, they didn't make so many of them, and when they did, those things sold out real fast because it had Ralphie's picture on the box and everything.
I don't think they're made like they used to be either. I think they got a lot more plastic on them now.
Yeah, my son's is wood.
Oh yeah. Is the like gun metal and everything?
Yeah, the gun's metal and the stock is and the fore end are wood. And it's got adjustable sights on it too, adjustable metal sights. It's got the adjustable buckhorn sight on the rear. Yeah, Snob's out there. See, Snob didn't show up for the wrestling show last night, so I'm a little disappointed in Snob.
Yeah,
I even sent him a link.
I didn't show up either. I didn't know if he was doing a show or not, and I conked out, man. Sometimes it's tough being an old man.
Yeah, we actually stuck to wrestling for the most part last night. We weren't talking about cards or anything. And Snob says he fell asleep. He's just stealing Jason's excuse now.
I've been trying to watch some of the video clips that AEW has been putting out on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to watch some of them during the week.
Yeah, Snob has a link for this one too, and he's jumping here either. He probably doesn't know anything about Robotech or anything, but just like you guys.
Did you send Mystic a link?
Yeah.
She should hop in here.
Yeah, then Snob would.
Yeah.
He'd steal her link and talk over her shoulder. What are we talking about now?
See, Pacifist is out there. He's got a new video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but he's doing some precision work with a 1022, I think.
Yeah. Dead Horse says he ran around the entire neighborhood at 9 to 10 p.m. at night, hiding in people's front yards in the bushes with guns that looked very real, while the entire neighborhood played army on the street. Yeah, I mean, back then in the old days, man, we would run through everybody's yards and neighbors. They didn't care as long as we weren't doing anything to damage anything.
Yeah, you almost considered the neighbor's yard and bushes and stuff part of your territory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would run through the neighbors' backyards and stuff, and nobody cared. Unless they had a sign, stay out or something, you know. He said that Snob says she's on her way to the airport to pick up her sister.
Well, when she gets back, her and her sister can get on.
Oh, please no, because according to what she says about her sister, I don't know if we want her sister in here. The way she talks about her sister, she's the female version of A&A. And I don't know if that's true or not. Snob could elaborate and let us know if that is true or not. We'd see what he has to say on that one.
Yeah. Oh, what's up? Fill us in on the sister-in-law there, Snob.
Yeah, he says her sister doesn't shut up. So yeah, she would be the female A&A. A&A going, and he doesn't shut up. Yeah. A&A can be up. Yeah, he says that is true. That is true. Now, does she drink as much as A&A does? I don't know if I've ever been in a chat with A&A where he wasn't drinking, to be perfectly honest. Have you?
Don't say it like that's a bad thing.
No. I'm just saying. I mean,
I've heard him in chats, not drunk.
I didn't say drunk. I said he hasn't gotten to that point yet. He says she doesn't drink. I just said where he wasn't drinking. But she will drive you to. Oh,
hey, my kind of woman already.
That could be why you're divorced, Jay.
I'm still looking for the perfect woman. I'm seriously would be fine living with a woman that was a deaf mute. When she's bitching at me, all I gotta do is not look at her.
So what you want is a deaf mute that looks like Penelope Ford.
Yeah. What? You don't want to see what I'm saying?
Snob says that she's single.
That don't matter to me.
So you've said before.
Hell, that's a strike against her.
Jason likes somebody else's sloppy second, Snob. He said, but he wouldn't wish that on his worst enemy.
Oh, that bad, huh? There's a few of them around like that.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, the devil goes by many names.
But you never did answer me. What you want a deaf mute Penelope Ford?
Oh, that'd work. I'd let her bitch at me.
What about
In fact, I'd be
Rebel?
in trouble all the time.
Yeah. What about the one who they can't make up her name? What is Reba or Rebel? You seem to have a thing for her too when we were watching the wrestling.
I think I remember her too.
Yeah, she was the one with the crutch.
Oh yeah, the one with the crutch. Yeah. Yeah. She'd look like a good roommate. Now there was one that interviewed the Big Show, like outside of like an office door or something.
Yeah, what the hell's her name? Yeah, she's a Latin chick. What the hell's her name? God damn, I can't remember what her name is. I'm drawing a complete and total blank.
Hottie Belle Grande is what she was.
I said, I am seriously drawing a complete blank on what her name is. Oh, it's Dasha. Dasha, her last name I can't tell you. I can never remember her last name, but her first name's Dasha.
Dasha with a
Uh-huh.
D?
Yep.
Oh, well, what a pretty name.
Yeah, she's their backstage interviewer person. Her and Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, these guys pay $50 to watch the wrestling and know all the moves, and like I liked it, but the only thing I can remember is the only 3 hot women on the whole show.
Well, you kind of liked the looks of the dentist until you saw the one with the crutch. Then you decided you wanted to go for her instead.
Yeah, the scenery kind of got better the farther you went along in the trip.
Jason had a sheet. He's just taking notes on the different females that were on the show.
You know, they still got a long way to go to match the WWE's heyday, though.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Oh man, Trish Stratus, Sunny.
Sunny okay, but I never was into the Trish Stratus or like Sable or any of them.
Oh, Sable, yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with her, Jason, if I were you. You can let getting Brock Lesnar kicking your ass because she's married to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he ain't too big for a bullet.
Jason, he's got guns too, man.
Thanks for the warning. Next time she calls, I tell her to leave me alone.
Brock is a big-time big game hunter up in Canada and the U.S. and other places in the U.S. and he has handgun hunted bear. The guy is nuts. I would not handgun hunt a bear.
Surprised he didn't hunt by hand.
Shit, I wouldn't put it past him as big as he is. But no, he said he Stone Cold asked him on a podcast one time if there's one animal that he ever felt humbled by, and he looked at Stone Cold dead in the eye and said, "A white-tailed deer will humble your ass in a hurry."
You know, if you get into it with Brock, you just got to be quick enough to like circle around him, kind of stay behind him, because he can't turn his neck to see you. So long as you could keep, you know, in the rotation.
Brock can turn his neck, man. I've seen Brock turn his neck. He can turn his neck, and the dude is fast for his size too.
He ain't got no neck. He's got a head attached to some shoulders. He could turn half his body and make his head turn.
I'll tell you, I would not want to mess with Brock. That's all I'm going to say on that one. That guy is a genuine beast of a man. He is freaking huge.
Run around in a circle around him 3 times real fast and then kick him in the back of his knee.
He'll knock you on your ass. You go around him once, and next thing you know, you're getting knocked on your ass.
Kick him in his knee and hurt your foot.
Don't sleep on Brock Lesnar. Dude is fast. He is deceptively fast. Or should I say quick? You know. Either way, man. Don't sleep on that guy.
Man, I'd take him out with a rock and a slingshot.
Now, the crazy one that you really don't want to mess with is Jim Cornette. That guy pulled a gun on Brock Lesnar in the past. Legitimately pulled a gun on him and told him, "I will shoot your fucking ass." And there were plenty of witnesses around that said that, yes, this happened. This was back when Brock was in training at Ohio Valley Wrestling, which was like the WWF's developmental territory at the time. And Jim Cornette was running it. And him and Lesnar got into it over contract or something. And Jim Cornette pulled a Glock out of the drawer of his desk and told him, "I will shoot your fucking ass right now." And everybody said Lesnar just got up and walked out of the office and slammed the door.
He's a smart man.
The thing is, Cornette's crazy. He probably would have shot him. Jim Cornette is not right in the head for anybody who knows who Jim Cornette is. But that's a topic for a Saturday night show.
I saw a blooper in a pretty famous movie yesterday.
Really?
At least I think it was a blooper. Clint Eastwood for a fistful of dollars.
Uh-huh.
All right. He's the first one in the trilogy. The Man with No Name and
it was a fistful of dollars, for a few dollars more, and then the Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, well, he's got it looks like a Colt Navy,
mm-hmm.
and it's got the snake on the handles and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He referred to it in that movie as being a Colt 45. Now, did they make that Navy gun chambered in 45?
No. The Navy would have been a 36. If it was a conversion, it would have been a 38 Colt caliber.
See, he specifically called it a 45 twice because it was the duel with Ramon, and Ramon had the Winchester rifle. And he said when a man with a pistol goes up with a man with a rifle, the man with the pistol is a dead man. And Clint was like, "I'll stick with my 45." And then at the end, he repeated it. Stuff. Clint repeated what he had said, and I was like, "Man, I don't think they didn't have Colt 45 for that gun."
No, not if it was the Navy. If it was the Army, yeah. So that was the differentiation between the Army and the Navy. The Army would have been in cap and ball was 44 caliber, and the Navy was 36 caliber. When you would convert them over to cartridge fed, the Army would become a 45 Colt, and the Navy would become a 38 Smith & Wesson, or 38 Colt, excuse me, not 38 Smith & Wesson. 38 Smith & Wesson came later. But, so for him to have a Navy and say it was a 45 is all kinds of wrong.
Yeah, the open top gun there was a Navy gun, right? I mean,
the Colt,
he most always used the Navy gun, Clint Eastwood did.
Yeah, the Colt open top, the cap and ball were all open top, yeah. Remingtons were closed top. They were the first ones to put a backstrap. Or the top strap on, not backstrap. The top strap on their cap and ball revolvers with the 1858 design, which a lot of people don't realize also came in the Navy. Everybody always thinks of the Army, but there was a 1858 Navy as well from Remington. The same caliber as the Colt.
I happened to watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Then I watched Fistful of Dollars, and I didn't quite make it to a few dollars more. But I did fast forward a pretty stupid movie I forgot about. It was called A Fistful of Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not so good, that movie.
No. I think I know what you're talking about. It's another one of those spaghetti westerns.
Well, yeah, but it was fast forwarded up to like the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? And the dude had like a motorcycle, and the military had, Jeeps and trucks and shit.
Yeah.
Not Jeeps, but, trucks and Maxim machine guns and shit.
Yeah, the Wild Bunch was like that. The one with all the old actors in it, and Ernest Borgnine, and who else was in that? William Holden.
Another screw up in that Fistful of Dollars is he ambushed the whole army with like a Gatling gun in the back of the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a Gatling gun. It was like a Maxim machine gun or something. It wasn't a crank Gatling gun, with the magazine sticking up. No, it was like a two-handled machine gun deal, but they were acting like it was a Gatling gun.
But depending on the time period, he could have had a machine gun in the West.
Not that movie's timeline is like pre-Civil War, right?
No, it's after the Civil War.
Because The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly had the Civil War going on during it.
Did it, or was it after?
No, they were in the Civil War. They first dressed up as Confederates and got caught.
Okay.
And then later there was a big battle down by the river for the bridge.
Yeah.
North and south.
Yeah, there's no way they would have had a Maxim gun at that time period. Yeah, if they were late 1800s, okay. But, like 1890s, yeah, they could have potentially had a Maxim gun, but no way during the 1860s. That one was a little bit ways off yet.
Yeah, only I would pick the movie apart and notice such little details, but kind of just jumped out at me. I was like, huh? He said he stick with his 45, and I'm like, huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like, buddy, that's a Navy. That's not a 45. I know what my gun is. Well, apparently you don't. Oh, man.
All in all, a good movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Eastwood always did a good job. He always got the shit kicked out of him in the movies, though.
Yeah, that did happen quite frequently.
Yeah, he took some beatings.
Especially in like Any Which Way But Loose, where he was the fighter.
He done better in them than he did in the Westerns. They beat the shit out of him in the Westerns and like leave him for dead in the desert.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he would take a beating in a lot of movies. Yeah.
Even that little crazy dude beat the hell out of him with Dirty Harry.
Oh, the Big Out, he almost got his ass kicked by a bunch of girls. Yeah, they were holding him prisoner and shit in the house. Wouldn't let him leave. What was the deal with that one? He was a wounded soldier or something, and they nursed him back to health, and they wouldn't let him leave the house.
Yeah, he probably would like that movie stripped from the record. Just like Paint Your Wagon Red. That was a bad movie.
I was just Paint Your Wagons. Him and Lee Marvin.
Yeah, it was a musical.
In a musical. Now, yeah. Who in their right mind casts Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin in a musical? Seriously, who does this?
Even when I was a young child, I saw a Western coming on. Lee Marvin, Clint Eastwood. Like, yeah, even I as a child was disappointed in that movie.
And Rob is completely lost because he does not watch these movies. Roll Call would be telling us, who cares about that old shit if he were here?
Oh, you know, if you're just talking Western,
I know a damn thing about this whole chat.
Snob wants to know.
Damn near fell asleep. I had to get up and get back to work.
Rob wants to know, or Snob wants to know, who's the better Western actor, John Wayne or Clint Eastwood?
God, I don't know if you can put either one of them above the other.
Their movies were different styles.
Movies, yeah, they were different style movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, John Wayne did some hardcore Western movies, like The Searchers, Red River. Those could easily have been Clint Eastwood movies. But for the most part, Clint Eastwood's were darker than John Wayne's movies, except for, like I said, The Searchers and Red River. In fact, Red River is the only movie that John Wayne ever made where he was the villain. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard.
boy, that's a tough one, man. That is because Clint even made the westerns up to the 80s and 90s too. So he was always a kick-ass, no matter what. And boy, that's a tough one. But John Wayne had just so many, and it was like a respected character in his movies, and Clint was more like the 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 true gunfighter that couldn't be beat. You know what I mean? Clint always played like a gunfighter. The Duke didn't always play like a gunfighter. So I
No.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, there were only really a handful of movies where Wayne was a quote unquote gunfighter. One would have obviously been The Shootist. Another one would have been The Sons of Katie Elder. Let's see.
Well,
El Dorado.
the Duke always had it was always a justified shoot. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not the same as Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Were there any others where Wayne was a gunslinger? I mean, primarily that's what his occupation was a gunslinger.
Well, there was, Rio Bravo and El Dorado.
Well, no, Rio Bravo. He was a sheriff.
Well, he was hired by the one families, though. You know what I mean? But
no, and that was El Dorado.
Well, El Dorado and Rio Bravo is the same movie.
Yeah, but Wayne plays the opposite part. Yeah, they flipped it. Wayne was the sheriff in El Dorado with the drunk deputy who was the gunfighter. In El Dorado, Wayne was the sober gunfighter who had the friend who was a drunk sheriff.
Yeah. So, but even though you're calling him a gunfighter in those movies, he really wasn't like the kick-ass. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't say that because remember, El Dorado, Wayne was supposed to be one of the 3 fastest guns in the West in that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like the movie revolved around him shooting. As like a Clint movie, though, the movie revolves around his pistol as much as it does him.
Well, in Rio El Dorado, it couldn't because remember he was shot in the back by the girl after he shot her brother. So in a way, it did revolve around his shooting. If you look at how the movie starts, because he was so quick on the gun, he shot the kid, and that ended up with him getting shot in the back, which caused the issues that he would have all throughout the movie with his arm going numb and stuff. Yeah. And the Shootist obviously did because he was, him and his having cancer, and that's what led to the big climax to the movie where they had that big shootout in the bar at the end.
All right, man. It's high noon. They both meet in the streets. Clint Eastwood on one end, John Wayne on the other. Who walks away?
Whoever the script says. Oh man, I don't know on that one.
I think I'd go with Clint on that. I think I'll go with that.
So, Snob says he would say Clint for all-round actor, but just westerns, he would give it to John Wayne.
Now, what about Chuck Norris will win?
What about war movies between the two? I mean, Clint did some war movies too, and Wayne actually did more war movies than he did westerns. How's that for interesting?
Yeah, I might have to give the war movies to John Wayne because he covered them all. From fighter pilot to Navy guy to island invader to the
Navy pilot.
Vietnam. Yeah, I mean, he covered all branches and all Wayne different aspects of the wars. So
Wayne was the first guy that actually had the balls to make a Vietnam movie. during the height of the war. Nobody else wanted to touch the subject to that point.
Yeah. The war movies is an easier pick. It's easily John Wayne.
Yeah. Snub says Hatari is Wayne's best non-Western. Hatari was good. Yeah, that's the one where he's a big game hunter in Africa, but instead of killing animals, he's like capturing them for zoos and stuff. That's one of his comedies, and that was good. That was a good one. A lot of people don't realize Wayne did a few different comedies. Trouble Along the Way is another good non-Western, non-war movie that Wayne was in. If you haven't seen that one, they're trying to take his daughter from him. He's a football coach, and he lives a rough life, shall we say, and he's got a daughter. I don't think they ever say exactly what happened to his wife. She ran out on him or something. I think it might have been what the cause was, but they tried taking his daughter from him in the movie, and Donna Reed plays if I remember, it was Donna Reed that played the crap. What was it? The social worker type person who works for child services, and she ends up siding with him, and it's a good movie.
Oh, Kingpin's out there. He said the Scotsman's stream got yanked for showing a gun.
Yeah, I saw that. That sucks.
Yeah. Some people get away with it, man. Some people don't.
Snob says Pocket's driving cracked him up in Atari. Yeah. I wonder if his driving's where they got the idea for The Gods Must Be Crazy. If you haven't seen The Gods Must Be Crazy, that's a South African film. Oh my God, that movie is freaking hilarious.
Where the Coke bottle falls from there.
Yes. Yes. And you had the Bushman with thinking that it came from God. He's trying to take it to the edge of the world so he can throw it back to him. Nobody wants it.
Like to buy the world of Coke.
I'm going to take off, guys.
Okay,
I will catch you later, though.
Are we? Is the chat just that far out of your range that you just take off?
Yeah, I'd rather go back to an audiobook or music, honestly. So, I mean, any disrespect, but this is not my cup of tea. So,
talking a bunch of movies that.
I don't want to be a downer here for you, but yeah, it's not my thing, or the movies or any of that. So I'll run, but have a good night, and thanks for having me on, guys. Have fun.
Sorry, we didn't have a topic more to your liking there, Rob.
That's all right.
Or understanding, but it happens. Right.
Take care, Rob.
Later, Rob. Snob says poor Rob has no culture. I know, right? Damn, he doesn't know Robotech. He doesn't know any good old movies. I mean, good Lord.
Don't know wrestling.
No, he doesn't know wrestling.
No wrestling, no toys.
Yeah. Well, no, he did say a little bit about the toys discussion, and when we're talking about the camping in the woods and stuff, he contributed a little bit there, but most of it, he doesn't know what the hell we're talking about. What are these guys talking about? I wonder where Squibby is. I sent him a link. Thought for sure he'd show up. Oh, well. Yeah, maybe because we're on StreamYard, because I don't know if he was able to just not get StreamYard working last night or what, but he was on the show and he didn't say anything the whole time. I mean, he never unmuted, so I don't know if he was having trouble last night with StreamYard or what the problem was. But yeah.
Yeah, I bet he knew that thing about the pistols. He likes that movie, for A Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, he's a Eastwood fan.
Yeah,
sure.
I was talking to him and told him I was getting ready to go watch it and then watch for a few dollars more. You know, he likes that movie. He just put that video out about the watch and stuff for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't got to that one yet. But I've seen them all many times. I just haven't seen any of them in a long time. So they weren't bad to watch. See, G-Web's put out a video showing that YouTube had videos, and I didn't know YouTube had videos. So that's where I was watching them from.
No, you mean the movies? Yeah, YouTube has movies. But you know YouTube has movies because that's where you rented Emmett Otter and got yourself in trouble because you thought you were going to stream YouTube's service on.
Yeah, but this is different. This is not paying for it or anything.
Yeah, I know they have movies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this comes up in a list like when I bought Emmett Otter, it had like its own like Emmett Otter page and like buy here and all this and that stuff. This is just like your subscriptions whatever page. You just go click on the movie and there it goes. Not all of them's free.
Yeah.
I never clicked on any that wasn't, but found one and they didn't like have a real good version of it. It was like broken up like 20 times.
Yeah,
but
gets
the Clint Eastwood ones there, I was watching just like a regular movie.
Speaking of movies and Robotech, I actually found out there was another Robotech movie that was released back in the 2010s.
Oh, a long lost episode?
No, it was a movie. It was it originally was released in Japan back in the 1980s. It takes place right after the series, and it's basically Lancer talking to a reporter. Remember Lancer from the part with the Invid?
Sorry.
And he was one who was yellow. Oh, you weren't really into Robotech, that's right. But anyway, and he's going over. It's basically a recap of what happened in the later episodes of Robotech, the third series part of it. And basically, he's talking to a reporter as he's getting ready to do a concert. Because in Robotech, he was a member of the military who, when he crashed on Earth, when they sent back a wave to try and kick the aliens off Earth, his attack force was almost completely wiped out. He was one of the few that survived, and to go into hiding, he went in hiding as a musician or a singer. So he was, after the war and everything was over and they found we'd kicked the aliens off Earth and everything, he stayed on Earth and he went back to his musician thing instead of going back to being in the military. Anyway, he's talking to a reporter telling the story of it, and it was actually pretty good because it had some new animation and stuff that wasn't in the original series, and it wrapped up a lot of what happens because a lot of the characters you don't know what happens to them after the war because they didn't have a retrospect saying that any of the people that were couples or anything like that in the movie what happens to them, and this wraps that up and tells you what the fates of these people were and stuff. It was actually pretty interesting. If you're into Robotech, it's called Robotech Live Alive. So if anybody wants, you can find it. It's out there for streaming on the internet. You can't buy it in the U.S. anymore. Amazon only has the European version of it, so that won't work in the U.S. on any of your electronic devices or whatnot. But if anybody wants to watch it, if you were into Robotech, there's a link to somewhere where you can go and watch it on the internet. So just thought I'd throw that out there for anybody who might be interested in it. It was actually pretty good. It's like an hour and a half long.
I heard you clicking when you posted that link. I was watching my chat, man. I bet my chat's 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, there's always a delay. Doesn't matter what streaming service. The only time we didn't really have a major delay was back when everything was on Hangouts because that was integrated right into YouTube. Where there was a couple second delay. It's not like it is with StreamYard or the Chamber if you're using them. Yeah, it was. Anyway, that was a good movie. Like I said, for anybody, if you want a primer for what Robotech is, you could watch that and find out too. Like I said, it's an hour and a half long, and that's like the third part of this series because it goes. You have the Macross Saga, which is where it all starts, and then you have the Army of the Southern Cross, and then you have the new generation, or what would have been Mospeada over in Japan. And what they did is they took those three stories and then wrote to where they combined them all together into one. So they had to write connector pieces to it all and everything.
Did you hear anything about gun control today? Did Congress go to work today?
I haven't heard anything about anything going down today or anything. If they would have been going nuts on Scotsman's channel about it. You know that. It's been a slow news day as far as I can tell.
Well, I guess that's good. One more day of freedom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of guns, man, I was checking out a Jericho today at the local gun shop.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, once we figure out what's going on with the house. Oh, yeah, you don't know about that. We put an offer down on a house on Wednesday. Thursday it was accepted, so now we're waiting for the bank to do their thing and approve the loan and approve it and everything. And we may be in the process of buying a house right now.
Hey, man, cool. Is it still in West Virginia?
Yeah, same town. It's closer to the downtown area. It's going to be more central. So, with my not being able to drive and stuff, it's just going to be easier. I can get around and stuff than what we're at now. And not going to have, we're going to have neighbors, but it's not going to be like where we're living at now, where we're in like a apartment/townhouse complex. And our mortgage is actually going to be cheaper than the rent we're paying now, which is always a plus, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you can't go wrong that way at all. Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's cool.
Yeah, they wanted $62,500 for the house. We put in an offer of $55,000, and they snapped it right up. Nice. There wasn't even no negotiation. Like the last place we looked at, that the bank said no for some reason. No, we still haven't figured this one out. The realtor can't figure out why the bank said no on the last one. To be honest with you, but they said no because it wasn't worth their collateral or what have you. The house, a little bit of cosmetic work, that would have been a $75,000 to $80,000 house on the market here, and we were paying $24,300. I want to say is what we had on the bid on it, and they accepted that bid on the first one, and the bank says no. It was through HUD. All HUD wanted was the money that was left on the foreclosure that was defaulted on by the people who owned it before. And the bank said no.
Bank's not making enough money off of you for that small amount. That's what it is.
The loan officer didn't get why they said no. They didn't even send an inspector out to see it. The loan officer's like, I don't know what they were doing. I have no idea why they said no to this. So, I mean,
should try a different lender, maybe.
Well, it's our credit union that we're going through for the loan.
Yeah, well, that's good news, man, except for the fact that moving absolutely sucks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you get some people to help you.
Oh, yeah, we got people to help.
Still moving absolutely sucks.
Yep. But anyway,
it sucks for like a whole month. Like all the time preparing to move, packing up and moving, and
then have to
all
unpack
the time unpacking. And then you, just because you're in a new place and you're unpacking, you end up buying like $1,000 worth of new stuff for your wall that you didn't plan on, So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. these stand to fit this spot right here or whatever. It's a month or two of never endingness.
Yep. And while we're throwing links out there to things, folks, for those of you who don't know, the hens, that's Snob, Obnoxious, Gary, and Sarge are doing one massive giveaway. So if you, I know most of you who are out there watching this right now live, who you've you know all about that, but for those of you who come in and watch it on the replay, go check that out. I'm going to throw a link out there in the YouTube, and I'll put the link in the description once we're done here and everything. Go over there, check it out, get yourself entered, win yourself I'm not a Glock person, everybody knows that, but they're giving away one heck of a Glock 26. What, Obnoxious, you're not eligible. But they're giving away a heck of a Glock 26, a SAR, whatever it's Obnoxious is. It's supposed to be flat dark earth, but it looks like flat light beige. But yeah, it's one of those things where flat dark earth is never a uniform color. But they're giving that away. A custom Glock 17 slide, I believe it is, and a bunch of other stuff. So check out the giveaway if you haven't checked it out already. Link is up there in the YouTube chat. Okay, he says it's the SAR B6C, so that's what model that is. But anyway, go check out the giveaway. Get yourself entered, and who knows, you could win some nice prizes.
Yeah, definitely. My dealer had a Glock I almost looked at.
Snob says it's flat medium beige. Okay.
Flat medium.
Make sure we get it. Yeah, I want to make sure we get that right. Flat medium beige, not flat light beige. All right.
My dealer's got one. He's got that 3-colored tan Glock 19X with a Streamlight, I think. Yeah. Already hooked to it. That's another shade of gold. But I believe the light actually said Glock underneath the bottom of it. But when I was reading like the price tag for the gun, I thought it had the word Streamlight written in it. But
yeah, maybe Streamlight made a special edition for the 19X or something. I don't know.
Maybe. He just got it here lately, like wasn't there a week ago. This was the first time I ever seen it. I almost liked it, but almost not.
Yeah. The 19X is false advertising. They say that's the gun that was submitted to the military trial. It's not.
Yeah.
The military trial gun had a thumb safety on it.
Yeah, they had to have a manual safety on them. But this, I've seen the 19Xs before. My dealer was giving me stories, like a year and a half ago. Oh, they're not going to make them anymore, and all this and that. And I kept passing on it, and now this one with the Streamlight on it is $799. So
is that all?
That's a hard pass, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I was looking at a Jericho today. So after we figure out what's going on with the house and everything, my wife's like, yeah, that might be your birthday present. I was like, cool.
Is it black or is it silver?
Yeah, it's the black version, but it's all steel version. It's not the polymer.
Yeah, those are the ones that look like the Witnesses or the CZs.
Yeah, well, it's a licensed copy of the CZ that IWI makes. They made them for the Israeli military. It's also what the Baby Eagle is based on.
Yeah, okay, I know which one it is.
And it's also.
Yeah,
let's see, where is it? There it is. It's also the gun that you see right here on my T-shirt.
Well, see, you was meant to have it put on layaway.
Yeah, this is my Cowboy Bebop shirt, and the main character in Cowboy Bebop, Spike Siegel, carried a Jericho. That was the main gun he used on the show. And it specifically mentioned that it was a Jericho.
I think I'm gonna buy some night sights. Maybe during the week here, or maybe next week, get a couple sets. I spent this morning looking at them, and I had them in the shopping cart, and then they were like $10 shipping with what I was getting, and then it was like came all the way to like $65, and then if I spend $75, I could get free shipping. So I was looking around. Maybe I'll just order a couple sets.
Yeah, apparently, IWI they discontinued the polymer version of the Jericho. If you look on their website, it says that the polymer ones were discontinued, but they also discontinued the Jericho that I actually wanted, which is the enhanced version. It's one of the steel ones, but it's got the Meprolite night sights from the factory, and it's got a rail for a light under it and stuff. They discontinued that one too, which sucks. So that gun was really nice. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. That was a really nice pistol. Instead of being steel frame, that was an aluminum alloy frame. They were really nice.
My dealer's got one of those new SIG 320s that's like metal framed and has removable grips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but shit, it's crazy expensive. Like $1,200-$1,300 or something, and it's flat dark earth too. I don't know. I just don't see it for that kind of money.
Yeah, I think the Jericho Enhanced was aluminum alloy anyway. It feels like it because it's lighter than the standard Jericho is. Not that the standard Jericho is all that super heavy, but you can feel a weight difference when you're holding the two of them.
I got a couple Berettas and layaway just about done. But after that, unless something comes along, there's not really any pistols or anything I'm interested in. There's not a lot of choices, but I'd rather just scrape and come across ammo right now or parts or something. There's not really any firearms that I'm going for.
How many Berettas do you need, man?
This last one will make number 12.
I know you're trying to buy them all up so nobody else can buy any. I swear.
I would like to at least have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to at least probably have 3 or 4 different models that I don't have.
You already got a dozen.
Yeah, well, I only buy 1911s and Berettas.
Apparently,
I really don't stray too far away from what I like, man.
You need to diversify. You need to get some CZs or something.
Yeah, I'd like to get a nice CZ. I'd go for that.
I got a CZ on my hip right now, man.
Yeah, I might come across a nice revolver this year. You never know.
A Zolt revolver?
No, my dealer usually gets some older Smiths in pretty regular.
Oh, no, that was a joke.
Oh.
Yeah, CZ Zolt. CZ Zolt or whatever you want. CZ Olt. CZ Olt. How would you pronounce CZ and Colt merged together? CZ Olt?
Colt Z. Colts with a Z at the end. Colts. Yeah, I'll take one. They put it out. I'll buy a Colt made by CZ.
Hey, Buck is stepping over my my stuff here, man. Come on, Buck. That's not cool.
Oh, they get credit for linking it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to steal my peoples here. What's up with that, Buck? Come on, man. Come on, man. Can't be doing that. You lying pony. Oh, my God. Have you seen that clip where he doesn't even call the guy a lying dog-faced pony soldier? He just calls him a lying pony?
Joey B. Gotta love him.
The reporter asks him a question. He looks at him and says, "You're just a lying pony," and he walks off stage.
Yeah, I prefer my ponies to be honest and truthful, Joe. Yeah. Nothing like a dishonest horse, I tell you.
Right?
Coming from a man whose political party symbol's a jackass.
And it's very fitting for who is sitting in the White House right now and who is in charge of the
Hee-haw.
who's in charge of Congress, for crying out loud. All right, Nancy and Joe make one hell of a couple. They should both divorce their spouses and marry each other. They're made for each other.
Hey, there's a meme for you. What's that American anthem, or what's the farmer with the pitchfork and his wife next to him, the picture?
American Gothic.
Gothic. Yeah, they put that Joe and Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of a farm behind him, you could have the border wall.
Yeah. Buck, no truer words have ever been spoken. He says, no telling what comes out of his mouth. Ain't that the truth? You never know what Joe's going to say. Joe doesn't know what he's going to say. He's trying to say one thing and he says something totally different.
Nigger, one of us know what he's going to say.
Exactly. What are you talking about, Joe?
And that's sad that when he says crazy stuff like that, that's when you can really understand him. The rest of the time, he's just babbling on about subjects you don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah. Kingpin said they did an American Gothic using Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
Okay. I'll have to look that one up. Oh, I guess it would be Joe and Jill then, wouldn't it? That would be the one. Yeah. Who was his wife that we elected to? What's her name? Jill? Dr. Jill?
Yeah, Dr. Jill Biden.
Yeah. She's such a good doctor.
Yeah, she's such a good medical doctor.
She's a wonderful doctor. They should make her like
they should make her degrees in education. Yeah, her degrees in education. Now you're going with Whoopi Goldberg. They should make Jill Biden the Surgeon General. She's such a good doctor. You know, she's a doctor of education. You dumb fuck.
Oh, I would. I'd make her Surgeon General. She's a wonderful doctor.
Make Fauci the Surgeon General, and we can have Pinocchio as Surgeon General. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says. Dr. Anthony Fauci looks like fucking Pinocchio if he was an old man. After the blue fairy turned him into a real boy.
Well, he lies about as much as Pinocchio.
Yeah, well, he's a real boy. That's why his nose doesn't grow anymore. If he were still the puppet, you know, his nose would be 10 foot long and he couldn't even hold his head up. My nose is too heavy. And he'd make all the girls happy, though, with that nose.
Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dance is your chance.
Brings a whole new meaning to face sitting, I tell you that. Oh, boy, this chat just went down a rabbit hole, didn't it?
Rob's just stuck around for this one. He probably chimed in.
Yeah, he'd be laughing his ass off right now.
He found a Pinocchio doll in a hotel room once.
Snob's like, wow. And then, wow again. He's got no strings to hold him down. Oh, man.
Well, I'll be damned, Jiminy Cricket.
Oh man, we need somebody sane to jump in here before we really get any crazier. And Snob says he's trying to do his invoices so he can get paid for last week, and he can't concentrate listening to us. Well, see, Buck, now you're crossing your metaphors, man. The puppets that you stick your hand up their ass don't have strings. They might have sticks for controlling their arms, but there's no strings.
Hand puppet.
He could be somebody's sock puppet. I'll grant you that. It wouldn't surprise me.
Speaking of puppets, my Emmett Otter Christmas show that got removed by YouTube got reinstated.
Yeah, you told me that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. There is video archive footage.
Yeah. Getting back to Felchi and the puppet, yeah, he may be a little too fond of prostate exams, shall we say.
Oh, you mean COVID testing?
Well, only in China. Tell me you know about that.
Yeah, they're gonna like test
Anal
you.
swab. Anal swab for COVID in China.
Like your old-fashioned thermometer.
Over here we test for COVID by sticking a Q-tip up your nose, like with a flu test. China, nope, they go for a totally different orifice.
That's gotta be shitty.
Oh, definitely. There's no doubt about that one.
Man, that's just terrible. How can that actually be like? How can they really know if you're sick or not by doing that to you? I don't.
It's China. Do they need a reason? It's China. I mean, isn't that what Joe said about the Uyghur situation? It's China. They have different culture.
Why don't I just take a crap in a bag for you and you test that and see if I got COVID, man.
Again, it's China. The Chinese were trying to talk doctors in this country into doing it, and Joe is actually like, wait, what? We can do that? No way to move.
There's a bunch of sick people here. They'd like go get tested twice.
Well, I'm sure there's certain clubs around the U.S. that would be an extremely popular COVID test. They would have volunteers lining up for that one. If you catch my meaning.
Yeah, my test come back negative. Can't wait to go get tested again.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for Snob.
Now, how are they going to do that? Because here, you got to like drive up testing. Like we got tents outside, man. Like you're supposed to come up, hang your ass out the window like you're
exactly.
Somebody.
You stick your bare ass out the window, and they stick the Q-tip up in there, and and they get the little swabby, and yeah.
You pull up, honk your horn, got your ass hanging out, just keep beeping the horn.
Obnoxious said Yankee got that test, said he didn't even know. Yeah, well, and Yankee farts and he doesn't know. So, I mean,
oh man,
Yankee farts, and the only way you know is because you smell it. He's been spread apart so many times it doesn't even make a noise when he cuts one. Of course, he ain't going to know the Q-tip. Snob says he's trying to ignore us, and then he does the whole laughing sound. Yeah.
That's a good one, Obnoxious. That's a pretty good one.
Now Gary says, wow. Oh, man. Yeah, we've gone down a rabbit hole and a half here with the
Hey,
Yankee farts and the room smells like bleach. That's entirely possible too.
burnt rubber.
Burnt KY jelly. It smells like cinnamon KY jelly when Yankee farts.
Probably smells like super chat money.
Oh man, we are all going to hell. You know that, right? Oh,
Yeah. Actually haven't watched Yankee in a long, long time.
oh, neither have I.
Not so sure at this particular juncture I'm ready to hear his political views, but I'd like to catch up if he had a good video on a gun like he used to do, where he actually showed you gun, talked about, how nice the trigger was or whatever. I'd be interested in that. But
If he's trying to feed a Glock peanut butter.
yeah, I miss Gary.
Gary was what, a Glock 29?
Whatever, he's converted to 357 SIG. So whatever Glock that would have been.
That's right. It
33.
was 357 SIG. Yeah, I was thinking 10. I was thinking it was 10 Miller. Yeah, it was 357 SIG. I don't remember. I don't know which Glock the 357 SIG is. Not you, Gary. Gary the Glock. Well, I used to call Gary the Glock all the time in the live chats. Oh man, that was back before we even had each of us had our channels started. We'd be watching the show and I'd be calling him Gary the Glock all the time. But oh man,
That was some of Yankees' best work, man. The
Mhm.
Gary Glock videos.
Yeah, that was back when Yankee was actually funny still. I actually bought a Yankee shirt way back when. Gary says it's a G31. But Gary says Gary was a G31. There's a sentence for
He
you.
should yeah, I got a Yankee shirt. I got the one that says guns make me happy. You not so much.
I got the werewolf one. I use silver bullets because I'd rather be judged by 12 than eaten by one. Werewolf, that is. God, I haven't seen that shirt in a while. It's probably buried in my drawer somewhere, one of my drawers upstairs somewhere. I haven't seen that shirt since we moved, I don't think. No, I take it back. I did have it since we moved. I need a new one because it's got a hole in it. But I don't know if I want to pay Yankee. Well, he doesn't get any proceeds. Or he says he doesn't get any of the proceeds from the shirts anyway. Says that all goes to charity. As if he even has that shirt available anymore, because that's the only one of his I would buy anyway.
I haven't bought any T-shirts in a while, man. Maybe I get some for spring. Most everybody's website, like Beretta or Colt or Smith and Wesson or anywhere like that, bought all of them. Got some pretty nice T-shirts at reasonable prices.
I haven't bought a T-shirt in how long? Everybody else keeps buying me T-shirts, so it's like, okay. Like the T-shirt I'm wearing now, my future son-in-law got me this shirt for Christmas. So, it's not like I don't like it. It's just one of the shows I like. It's one of the animes I actually like. This is another one that's a good anime. Is Cowboy Bebop. It's like a space western kind of thing. The main character's a western style bounty hunter, but it takes place in the future.
Oh, Mandalorian.
No, not that kind of bounty hunter.
Oh,
Like an Old West bounty hunter.
oh, okay. Bounty killer.
No, they try and capture people alive, but people do end up getting killed in the show. So it's one of those Japanese cartoons that was made for adults more so than kids. And I mean, how can you go wrong with a cartoon where the main character actually has a Jericho by name in the show? It is a Israeli Jericho. So,
There you go. Your gun shop, is that a brand new gun?
yeah.
Is the only one he's got?
No, they got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Man, that felt nice in the hand. It's one of the new ones that doesn't have the finger grooves either.
$9mm, right?
Yeah. They only make it in 9mm now. They did have it in 40, and of course they had it when they first came out with the Jericho in 41 Action Express, which is where 941 comes from on the Jericho 941, 9mm and 41 Action Express. Gary says he bought one last week that says Maruchan Instant Ramen. Bought one what? I don't remember what we were talking about when he said that.
T-shirts.
Oh, T-shirt. Okay. So he bought a ramen T-shirt. Okay. Now he needs the one that says oodles and noodles on it to go with it. Yeah, he said T-shirt. Okay. Yep. That was the T-shirt. Yeah, like I said, I haven't bought myself a T-shirt in a while. I remember what the last T-shirt I actually bought was. And I cannot remember. It might have been the Second Amendment one I got at Maryland at the fair in 2019.
Colt's got T-shirts and hats, and that's pretty much the only product they have. It's all they've had for a while.
Yeah, that would have to be the last one I actually bought. Would have been the 2A shirt that I got in Maryland of all places, at the Allegheny County Fair.
Yes, but Gary does have spreadshirts with T-shirts and hats and coffee mugs.
Yeah.
I was just looking there the other day.
We got a Pat Hirsch sitting in the back. Hey, Pat.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Were you listening to the rabbit hole we just managed to start climbing out of?
Yes, I was just sitting down for a little late supper and got in on the whole rabbit hole thing.
Oh, man, yeah.
Well, I definitely think somebody's got their hand up Biden's. That's for sure.
We were talking about Fauci. That was Fauci we were talking about at that point.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Biden.
No, we were talking about Fauci because I said he looks like a geriatric Pinocchio after he was turned into a real boy.
Well, I think it could go for both of them.
Well, have you ever seen? There was somebody that did this meme. It's Fauci. It's a picture of Fauci, and right next to it's a picture of Pinocchio after he was turned into a real boy. Have you ever seen their pictures side by side?
No, I have not.
Isn't one of them Don Knotts?
No, it was the Pinocchio from Disney's. It was Pinocchio from Disney's Pinocchio, the cartoon.
And he didn't turn into Don Knotts?
No.
Oh, that was the fish. Okay.
Yeah, that was the fish. That was the Incredible Mr. Limpet. But Fauci looks like Pinocchio as an old man. I swear to God he does. You put them next to each other, and Fauci looks like if Pinocchio got old.
Yeah, I don't think that's a stretch. I think you'd probably be right on one.
It's insane when you look at him side by side. Fauci actually looks like he could be Pinocchio as an old man.
Ugh. That wouldn't surprise me. Oh, yeah. Heard a funny joke today. Got a part-time job at a guillotine factory. I start today. I'll be heading over there later.
Uh-huh.
Dad joke.
I don't know if I spelled that right. I was close. I almost spelled Pinocchio right.
Penelope?
No, Pinocchio. You got Penelope on the brain, man, after last weekend.
I'd say that joke, but just in case there's sensitive ears out there, I don't think I'm going to go with that one.
Well, he wishes he had Penelope somewhere else in his anatomy.
I can't even remember what her face looks like.
I don't think you ever looked at it. I think you were looking at some different assets.
My eyes was filled with double bubbles.
Uh-huh. At least a couple of double D's are probably, if that's being conservative.
And she's a floater, that's for sure.
Yeah, she ain't sinking anytime soon.
Built-in flotation device.
Devices.
Sorry. Plural.
Plural, yes. Plural.
Forgot the plural.
Uh-huh.
They walk in the room before she does, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to make it last night, Rich, but dang kids would not go down worth a dang.
Jason was absolutely in love last Sunday. He saw her and he was like, "Ooh, what's that?" And that's all he talked about the rest of the night.
It's just another one that got away.
All right, now I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. Y'all seeing my screen?
Yeah, it's still loading up. Okay, there it is. Pinocchio.
Okay. See, here's Pinocchio as a real boy, right? See that? And there's Fauci. Tell me Fauci does not look like Pinocchio as an old man.
Yeah, that's Pinocchio 50 years down the road. For sure.
There's no doubt, right? That
Dr. P. Fauci.
Fauci is freaking Pinocchio, and like he must be in like witness protection or something. Why he changed his name?
So that's his real name.
Dr.
Pinocchio
P. Fauci. MD.
Gary says Midnight sent his links out. Of course he did. Yeah, I guess we can leave it on the Pinocchio. But did I prove my point? Fauci is Pinocchio. There could be no mistaking now, right? Fauci is Pinocchio.
I'll always refer to him as that from now on. Whenever he's on TV, he lies as much as Pinocchio anyways. That's a perfect fit.
So you guys probably thought I was just making shit up all this time when I keep saying Fauci looks like Pinocchio, but not, there's your proof. Fauci looks like Pinocchio.
Yep. 50 years down the road, there it is. So that's why he got into the medical field. So he get that nose to quit growing all the time from all the damn
He was a real boy, that stopped happening. Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't think he's real, though.
He went from being a marionette to being a sock puppet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we should start wrapping this up so we don't quirk midnight, maybe. I don't know. Should we or shouldn't we?
It's funny. Nah. Funny, though, he's going to end up like the richest doctor of all time.
He's got it. You know, technically, he cannot be fired. He's got one of those lifetime appointment bureaucrat jobs. Ain't that some shit? That's why Trump never fired him. He can't fire him.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So he's going to be hanging around no matter what.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, he's been hanging around for a long time.
He's got no strings.
He's had plenty of time to scheme this one out.
Well, he changes his story every week. Jesus Christ. One week it's, you don't need masks. Next time you hear him, you got to wear a mask. And then after that, you got to wear 2 masks. They know, don't wear 2 masks. And then again a week later, yeah, you got to wear 2 masks. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Put yourself in the box of masks.
Yeah.
That Dr. Braxter, or whatever, she's no better.
No.
She wants everybody to make your own face shield and you can decorate it and have fun and shit like that.
Yeah, whatever she said, whatever Fauci says, she says the opposite. It's like what the hell? I think she's got another one of those jobs where she can't be fired either. So you don't see Herbs much anymore, though. But you still see Fauci all over the damn place.
We're supposed to listen to Dr. Fauci, but like all my life, I was raised that, it's a good idea if you don't like what the doctor said to get a second opinion.
Yeah.
So much for second opinions.
Yeah, Fauci hasn't seen a patient practicing medicine in over 20 years. And he's not a doctor who studies diseases. He's an allergist. The reason why he's in charge of the department he's in charge of is because somebody way back when they created it, decided it would be a good idea to put infectious diseases and allergies in the same department. This is not Fauci's specialty.
Nope. Yeah.
If you got hay fever, Fauci might be the guy to listen to. If you got an infectious disease like Ebola, coronavirus, SARS, any bird flu, any of that kind of shit, that ain't the guy you want to talk to.
Yeah, but they did eradicate everything. There is no more allergies or flu or pneumonia or any of that, man. They got rid of all that.
I actually saw a commercial for the flu the other day. I was shocked. Shocked, I tell you. I thought that was gone.
Yeah, I thought everything was COVID and that was it.
Next week, Fauci's going to come out and tell everybody they have to wear GIMP masks. Masks? Masks.
Maskuses.
Maskuses, yeah.
Masochistic?
Yeah, that would be what a GIMP mask would be, but yeah. And I wouldn't want to take the over-under on that, him actually doing it. Because, you know what?
No.
It's entirely possible.
No.
Or at least plausible.
maybe a little bit of the masks does work because really, since all this started, I never got sick once so far. Knock on wood. I usually get sick, at least a couple days during the winter, me and a flu bug going around or something. But I've had no problems with nothing ever since this whole thing started.
Well, we do got to start wrapping this up, sadly. It's been a fun chat. We chased Rob off because we were too cultured. He couldn't follow along.
It's good knowing him. We might not see him again. I'll miss that little guy.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we can get him back. We'll have a Smith and Wesson M&P chat or something. Yeah. He'll warm back up to us.
Yeah.
Well, after the round, you two went down.
I thought for sure he was going to say something when I was talking about how we were playing Zulu when we were kids.
Oh, that was pretty bad. That's pretty funny, though. That's pretty funny. Like, yeah, you wouldn't have that nowadays.
Oh, my God. If you did that now, every one of you would be getting sent to anti-racist camp.
Your whole city would be on the news. They'd blame every one of you.
BLM would be out there burning down the city.
Yeah. You'd have some trouble.
And Pat's probably thinking to himself, what in the hell are they talking about?
Just kids playing.
No, the movie Zulu. You ever see the movie Zulu?
Yeah, I know the game and the movie.
We went out and were playing that in the street. All the white kids were the British when we were running around with the guns. All the black kids were looking around for sticks so that they can make spears.
Oh boy!
and this was in a black neighborhood, mind you, a predominantly black neighborhood, and it was the black kids that wanted to play. It was one of the black kids that came up with the idea. It was like, okay, because we're like, what can we play now? And he was like, we could play Zulu. He was like, what, like the movie we just watched? It's like, yeah, but okay.
Oh my God.
There would be nothing left of the city. Yeah. So, yeah.
All the white kids went and got like an old pot that their mother had that they didn't use for anything, and we were wearing them like the British helmets and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my!
It was a sight to behold, man. I'm telling you. But you know what? Back then, nobody cared.
It was just kids running around having fun.
Yeah. Today, you couldn't do that. You'd have half the parents yelling that all these kids were racist.
Yeah, opponent A versus opponent B, and there's no guns, no sticks, no knives, no nothing. You can't even point a finger. It's just insults across with a keyboard.
You know what, man? If that would have been my kids and that happened today, I'd run out there in the street in front of all their friends and whoop their ass right there and say, "How dare you pretend to be British?"
Right?
Anyway, we really do got to get off of here. So, Jason, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, been a good chat, been a lot of fun. We'll pick this back up. I'll do a show tomorrow night around 8:00, Monday Morning Ground. So, everybody, if you got a little time to waste, stop on by. Thanks for inviting tonight, Rich.
Yep, no problem. I know you got in here late, Pat, but anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, not really. Just thanks for having me on. And I wanted to get in here a little sooner, but things happen. So, but anyway, no, it was a good rabbit hole that I got onto when I was sitting down to eat supper. So that was kind of funny. So, but no. So anyway, thanks for having me on, Rich. Appreciate it.
Yep. And if nothing else came out of this, we have verifiable proof that Anthony Fauci is Pinocchio.
Exactly. Stay safe. Carry your weapon.
All right. And with that, we will bid you all adieu for this week. And be sure to go out there and, like we said earlier, check out the giveaway that the Hens Chat peoples are doing. You'll win some cool stuff. And for those of you who don't remember, that's Snob, Gary, Obnoxious, and Sarge. And you might win yourself a nice Glock. Like I said, I'm not a Glock guy whatsoever, but the one they're giving away, that 26, is a nice pistol. I think the only thing on it that's Glock is the frame. Everything else is aftermarket. It is super customized. So, yeah. And they're also giving away this SAR. Let's see if I can remember which one he said it was. The B6C. All right. So, in flat, medium, beige. So, according to Snob, that was the color on it. So, yeah, you get an opportunity to try and win one of 2 different guns and ammo. The guns come with ammo.
Yes, they have some ammo. That's true.
So,
plus a lot of other stuff too. They got scopes and what, a red dot or something too?
No, I don't know if they're giving away a red dot. I know they got the scope that Stan sent them.
Oh, and they got one of those laser targeting dry fire practice things.
Yeah, the Mantis X. Yes, you can win one of those too. But each one of those gun packages with the ammo and the gun you're looking at with the SAR, at least what, like $1,000 with the ammo? They're giving away what, 200 rounds with each gun, something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth your time to go enter and spread the word to your friends and get them to subscribe and get yourself some extra entries.
Yeah, the Glock is definitely over $1,000 prize package. That 26 with the ammo, that's definitely got to be over $1,000 with the custom slide that's on there, the custom barrel, the night sights, the trigger, everything that they get that was put on that. So, yeah, definitely, you definitely want to get out there and get entered in this one, folks.
I got my brother and sister-in-law entered and subscribed to all the guys. Maybe it'll get them involved in YouTube a little more.
Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah. Anyway, we're out of here. Till next week. We'll see y'all later.
See y'all. Don't build your castle on someone else's sandbox.
Exactly. Good night, Felicia.
Arrivederci. That's Fauci. Fauci saying goodbye.
Pinocchio.
Wear a mask, Geppetto.
Now there you go. We need a meme as a wooden Pinocchio wearing a mask with his nose sticking out over the mask.
And on that note, yes, I'm hitting the button to end the chat now. So goodbye, folks.